Hi and welcome to the Malat cookery channel. So today I'm making crispy salt and pepper shredded beef. So this is a really easy Chinese restaurant recipe from one of the Malat customers, a Chinese restaurant in the north of the UK. The spice blend we're going to be using from the Malat range is their Chinese salt and pepper seasoning. And if you don't have access to the Malat range of products, you're either going to have to try and source a Chinese salt and pepper seasoning for yourself, and if you do, it should really be a fine ground Chinese salt and pepper seasoning, not with large flakes in. If you want to make something from scratch, the bare minimum you're going to need is 1 teaspoon of ground Szechuan pepper, half a teaspoon of ground star anise, about half a teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of white pepper. As usual, a full list of ingredients will be given at the end of the video. So let's have a look at those ingredients now and anything else we're going to need for today's recipe. So the ingredients for today's recipe, we're going to need some good quality vegetable oil for cooking. I've got about 120 grams of plain or all-purpose flour. I'm using rump steak for this particular recipe. If you want to go to the expense, sirloin or anything better than that, the better the quality steak you've got, the better this recipe will turn out. So I've got 400 grams of rump steak. Going to be using about a teaspoon of chili garlic sauce, and this is Lee Kum Kee brand. A teaspoon of corn flour. I've got about 3 bell peppers here, just cut up nice and big. Now in the restaurant, when I've seen the chef make this particular dish, they use a large ladle of water for the sauce, and I've worked that out to be around 150 millilitres of water. Got 1 onion, white or red, doesn't matter, this is just what I have in the fridge, so 1 medium-sized onion. Going to be using about half a teaspoon of dark soy sauce and a couple of tablespoons of light soy sauce, and then about 30 grams of Malat Chinese salt and pepper seasoning, or whichever seasoning you're going to use. So the first thing we do is we take our flour and we add half of our Chinese salt and pepper seasoning to the flour and reserve the other half for the sauce. Just mix that in so we get a nice seasoned flour. And then the next thing is we want to take our beef and just make sure we get that beef well coated in that seasoned flour. So next thing we need to do, I've got our wok over a high heat, another large ladleful, this time of oil, some vegetable oil in the wok. We're going to be frying this coated beef off, probably in batches. Place it into a oven-proof dish and just keep warm in the oven while we then cook the rest of the meal. So just waiting for this oil to get up to temperature. Again, I'll be frying this beef off in batches. So once we've fried the beef, and that's now reserved, keeping warm, next thing to do, some fresh oil in the wok, about 3 or 4 tablespoons of fresh oil. Wait for it to get up to temperature, so we want it nice and hot. So then got the peppers. Again, just 2 or 3 minutes. So now I want to return the beef, just in keeping warm, to our dish, and just mix that beef in. Just heat that through now for about a minute. The next thing to do is to add our sauce, which I've already mixed. Just a little bit at a time. So it depends how you like your Chinese meals. This particular recipe is a fairly wet meal, and it's served with either fried rice or crispy noodles. So that'll just dictate how much sauce you actually add. Now I'm going to add the lot in. And again, we're just going to cook this through for a couple of minutes, and then that's it, the dish is done. And the smell is absolutely sensational. There you go, really easy Chinese restaurant style recipe. Absolutely delicious, not that expensive either. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button, and if you want to see the build video for this outdoor wok station, then have a look on the Malat cookery channel on YouTube, and under the outdoor projects, that particular build video will be in there. Thank you very much for watching.